Hello, good afternoon. Pleasure to be here with you in this social summit. Now we will present this topic. Despite all conflicts and problems, living, teaching and working together is possible. I am Graca André from Portugal, Portuguese Association of Social Workers, and also from the Portuguese Catholic University in Lisbon, where I did teach in ethics and human rights. And you, Hans, please introduce you.
I am Hans Walz, professor at the University of Applied Sciences in Weingarten. I teach sociology and scientific ethics, and I am engaged in teaching and practice human rights and social work with migrants.
So, of course, this title is a bit challenging. The main question, despite all conflicts and problems, living, teaching, and working together, is it possible? Dear Hans, what do you think? You can see a lot of problems, and the problems we can see in these inequality, social exclusion, poverty, abuse of human rights, Ukrainian war, etc. As you can imagine, for example, the people that are going away from the war with children and old people, also problems with people that don't accept migrants, also people that are against the policies of COVID vaccination, also people that can become in a bad situation from poverty, and etc. So we can see next what you, Hans Walz, has to tell us that can help to believe that, yes, it is possible to co-build a new eco-social world in very challenging times.
I have three arguments that it is possible, real possible, to live and to work together. The first argument is according to the brain researcher Joachim Bauer. Joachim Bauer has published this book, Our Cooperative Genetic Constitution. He says that all human beings have in their inner a constitution to cooperate and to live together. And when we have bad attitudes, we are not able to realize this living together, and we will become ill. The next is Erich Fromm. He is a scientist in ethics, and he has proclaimed in his well-known book, The Art of Loving, that our love in our inner is oriented to a universal living together. Erich Fromm says, love is universal oriented. I read one sentence. If I truly love one person, I love all persons. I love the world. I love life. I can say to somebody else, I love you. I must be able to say, I love you in you, everybody. I love through you the world. I love in you all myself. So, in the perspective of Erich Fromm, love is universal oriented, and nobody can be excluded because we all human beings are oriented to love. The third argument is the argument in the perspective of holistic view of science and world, according, for example, Charles Eisenstein. Eisenstein is an American philosopher, and he has published this book, Climate, a New Story. And in this book, he argues that we human beings are not only constituted to live together with ourselves, but also to live together with the animals and the plants. Our planet can only be solved if we live in a partnership with plants and animals together. I do the conclusion according Albert Schweitzer's jungle medicine. Albert Schweitzer says, the fundamental fact of human consciousness is, I am life that wants to live in the midst of life that wants to live. Now, Graca, you can go on in the perspective of human rights and social work.
Okay, thank you. So, to live together from these three arguments is possible because you have a cooperative genetic constitution to live together in dignity and justice. This living together will be realized by human rights and also by social human rights profession. That we shall reflect from this article of human rights, because there are a debate now, and we can see from these last arguments Hans Walz is present us. It is important to reflect that all human, animal, and plant beings are created to live together. This coexistential living together will be realized by human rights-oriented sustainability in reference to animal and plants. So the first article of Human Rights Declaration shall be headed with these emergent perspectives. So social work as human rights profession is grounded in the theory of social work to develop this concept, social work as human rights profession, like I will explain you in a short view, exactly about the importance of the universal needs to the essence of the concept. This concept is inspired in Silvia Stauber-Nasconi and says that universal needs as the basis of human rights as a support for the scientific orientation of social work, and of course, the relevance of the definition of needs as human, basic and universal are very important even to their adaptation. And we shall follow Doyle and Goff that says, please, be aware that all of us have the same basic needs and they must be satisfied as the realization of human beings' rights, as the level of emancipation will be evaluated according to the best realization of those needs. We are talking about basic survival needs and personal autonomy needs that these authors see very linked in same level. And next one, we can see how is possible. People show how they have lack of their needs realizations. We can see every day in street demonstrations. And of course, we shall also ask the attention of social work to be engaged in co-building a new eco-social world, leaving no one behind, because there are a lot of steps that were done in very fundamental diplomas that we shall follow. For example, from Universal Declaration of Human Rights till nowadays, European Pillar of Social Rights, Social Summit, Action Plan, etc. So the practitioners look a lot of opportunities exactly to interchange and working together, sharing practices and experiences. For example, in several seminars, as example, these that happen in Glasgow, achieving human rights in our practice, and the next, for example, in the delegate meetings of social workers from Europe in this case, and it is the opportunity to reach knowledge and exchanges for future professional support in our local and wider communities. And also very important to think about next generations and think how to teach and learn in a cooperative way with these new social workers. Here, a group of Erasmus program in Lisbon with 3 professors, 3 teachers, one from Lisbon, one from Austria, one from Ireland. And next, for example, we can see the celebration of the World Day of Social Work also in an International Week about human rights. And also some workshops bringing students to reflecting about social work as human rights, what it means. It's not easy, of course, and also we can see another ways to introduce this knowledge. Next slides, we can see a pedagogic diagram we did a lot of times about human rights realization, looking for sustainable answers to the basic human and universal needs with student participations when they shall think about the world with several places, inhabitudes, cultures, and so on, and also even to the several professionals, because all of us have a lot of prejudices that we are not conscient, and sometimes with this such exercise we can open a bit more our minds and our perspectives. Also, we can see that in our daily lives, to co-building a new eco-social world in our daily lives, it is important to be aware. For example, in first photo we see a celebration of to put the ashes of a migrant from Latin America in Portugal that asked, please put my ashes on your earth, because it was the country where I was welcomed. Also in second photo, we see a group of environment carers doing a meeting, fighting for their rights, but also the rights of the community around, in view a most qualified life in environmental balance to their fields, to their plants, to their animals, and so on. And next, finally, a presentation of a cooperative work with a lot of authors, 7 authors from different countries, languages, experiences, universities. The name was Social Work, Human Rights, Intercultural Relations. And last month, it was translated in Portuguese. Thank you very much.